Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Right. Well, it looks like we've come down substantially. Oh no, we didn't come down substantially. We moved up substantially and then came back. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. And we're right about at a 50% retracement already. Well, what's going on? Trump announces his plan to crack down on foreign investment, and it's much less harsh than expected. Breaking Treasury Secretary Mnuchin says he's expecting a big GDP number. Is that today? I thought that was tomorrow. Well, I wasn't sure. I was thinking about that in my sleep. Actually, it's tomorrow. We're expecting 2.2, and now he's saying it's going to be higher than that? That's a little odd of a thing for him to be talking about, isn't it? But maybe he doesn't know the number. Well, just as we've been sitting here, it's moved up quite substantially. That 0 was an edge that was maybe worth playing. I don't know. Yeah, this is a little weird. Okay, so Bitcoin is still not going. Let's post the links, shall we? Here's this link. And jeez. Well, I'm just not ready to be taking that, man. I'm sorry. I had like a shitty night's sleep, so I'm a little I'm trying to be like conservative here. And of course, it comes out, it breaks out of that range. I'll come back into it. They're bouncing off of it. There's some support on it. Mnuchin, it's unfortunate market got mixed messages. CFIUS won't target China specifically. Okay, so is it moving up because of the primary elections? That could also be something that's at play here. Okay, so we got news 6:30. Trade balance, durable goods. So some decent numbers. Okay. Bitcoin certainly doesn't look too healthy today, does it? Well, this honestly looks like this at 0.65 could continue, but I'm really skeptical that they come back up here at these highs like above 090 and then actually bust this again, you know? So maybe it's better to just sit here and wait for a short. Of course, if they go up there, they might just launch out of there. But then you're definitely not selling it, right? This whole thing is really weird because the E-mini is, well, it took a dive and it's essentially where it was. I guess I was reading that a little bit wrong. 005. They didn't completely retrace it. Where did they get to? 020. I think that doesn't seem to matter anymore. Upside biasing themes, huh? Well, normally I would think that they would trade up to 090 at the least. But you know, we got this news, so well, they are selling it. Oh, there comes the sellers, or sorry, the buyers. Okay, here comes news. Good trades balance. 64 versus 69 estimate. Okay, so the trade balance is getting better. Wholesale inventory is 0.5 versus 0.2 expected. The regular durable goods number. 0.6 versus 0.9. Okay. It's actually a little bit mixed. And they're falling down here. This might be a short here. They came back and they're not taking it. So core durable goods was bad. Durable goods was bad. Trade balance was good. Wholesale inventories was good. So overall it's a little mixed. I can't really make a read off of all of that. Jeez. Well, now I'm thinking I should stay out of this hole even from down to 040. Shrinks. The trade balance was actually a lot more significant than those numbers entail. I thought that it was just kind of, oh, okay, 64 versus 68, but that's actually 3.7%. The trade balance shrinked 3.7%. So his trade policy is having the effect that was desired in terms of equalizing the trade balance, at least. So they've been back and forth here at 055 several times now. Oh, they reversed because here. Okay. And that kind of explains why we came back down so quickly. Basically, they said, oh, we're going to limit like all foreign investment, not just Chinese. But then they said, but we're going to rely on this existing government agency that already does this sort of a thing. So it's probably not going to be as heavy-handed as people were thinking yesterday and last night. I think that's the play that they made. So if that's the case, I think you may have to favor downside, especially since that move up stalled out. But 055 is not really the safest place to take it, is it? Like, I think normally I would be taking a trade at 055. Yeah, I think normally I would be taking a trade at 055. But, I think we're gonna have to wait for it to move out of this. Like, we may need like 040. So at 040, I could maybe justify taking it on a bet that it's going to break that step. I'm new at this, trying to guess where the mid-range is. It's certainly in that mode at the moment, though. I'll also say, I should reset it. This 3-tick range here, so 055, 050, and then on the other side 060, is, you don't want to trade inside of that. And if you do try to inside that, you want to get in on the outside of it. Like here, if you were able to get filled at 06, but you have to be like really, you really got to believe that it's a short here. The E-mini continues to push up. One thing that does concern me on the short is that there's not a lot of liquidity up above us. It's all below us. I get 02. And that liquidity has been there since before I came in. And so you might have a situation where they're trying to get down here and they can't get to it. Okay, they ticked up. So that right there is exactly why I don't like that area. That is so totally exactly. So I think I want to go here and then here. They certainly seem to have trouble trying to get through 06 half and holding it. Not that it matters, but sorry, I didn't say balancing at all. Movement. I have seen this one before. On the one tick, cat ears. It actually does it a lot. House Republicans should pass this strong but fair immigration bill known as Good Latte 2 in their afternoon vote today, even though the Dems won't let it pass in the Senate. Passage will show that we want strong borders and security, while the Dems want open borders. Equals crime, and it's a win. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. In recent weeks, prominent academics have begun to question if the country's slowing trade-dependent economy can withstand a sustained dispute which has already started to weigh on stock prices and the yuan. This is China. Yep. That's the problem. China has a lot more to lose in a trade dispute, but they probably have more staying power. So how far are they willing to take this? Okay. Looks like another uptick. Holding pretty strong, that one. Okay, a lot of volume went through on that one. They're trying to hold it. 075 was that last pivot, so they're definitely somebody trying to hold it there. I don't know if they'll go through it though. Here I'm not seeing enough to indicate to me that we have a high probability trade here. See, Tucker still thinks that we're mid-range, yeah. They did, okay, so they did tick a little bit higher. Wide weaker. The one counter rotation we had was healthy, and now it's powering up. I don't. How do I see this? We're up like 4 ticks. Whoop-de-doo. Up 4 ticks. Delta is mixed. There's a lot of balance areas in zippers, which just make this a crappy place to trade in general. Yeah, so I think we break out of this. I think that there's some potential for drama. If it goes up there, we have to see what happens. I think that they're going to have trouble making a new high. I'm getting so sleepy. Look at this, I'm just... You should have slept an hour longer today. Well, what happened was, well, for starters, my family keep me up later than normal, but not a huge deal. So then I get in bed, and I just freaking could not fall asleep for some reason. For like a good 90 minutes. And, once I was asleep, I mean, I was deep sleep, deeper than I've been in a very, very long time. But, yeah, I feel really tired. Like, tired enough that I feel like, you know, on a live account, probably shouldn't be trading it. Taffy doesn't work for me. any kind of stimulate could actually make me more sleepy. The stimulant just calms the nerves too much. Well, so anyways, the other thing I was gonna say about, like the case for short, even though I still feel like that this range is not the best place to be taking it, but I mean, they really struggled there at 07.5, didn't they? I think they could come back up and they could go in and make a new high, but that was not like the strongest action. They attacked it, got through it by a tick, didn't come back. That's really more of a failure. And so I'm going to need to see 8.5 before I even get super excited about the long end. And then by the time we got 8.5, put a boring lecture on YouTube and try to pay attention. Yeah, I think that just laying there is more boring, but I think I take a medication called Strattera that helps with ADHD, and it's like a norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. And I ran out and I went without it for 1 day. And I think that's what was keeping me awake. Because when those levels get messed with, it messes up your sleep. Like when you're on the, especially at the beginning, it actually wakes you up earlier. That was one of the things that app finally pushed me to be like, you know what? I could just wake up at 5:30, it's no big deal. So, yeah, it's okay. We're dealing with it. If something happens, it'll definitely wake me up. Right now, though, this isn't really action I want to trade. I mean, could you have gone long at 0.55? Sure. Did you know that we would get up here? I thought that we could go short from there. Really did. Then they extend the last pivot high by a tick and go dead. That's just really not good trading action. And we even had pretty significant slate of news didn't move us. Watch France's soccer team for 10 minutes? Oh, we can just talk, guys. You think that this is going to go up to 0.9 minimally? We'll see. 0.9 is exactly where I'm like, if I get a stop run there and indications that it's going to stop, it would have to be a pretty strong indication that it's going to stop, right? Yeah, well, I think it's anything above 0.8, to be honest. So anything over 0.8 would be a confirmation of uptrend, right? But I'm just saying, once you get over that 0.8, you might see a lot of people jumping in and getting excited, thinking, okay, we got like this big strong move. Yeah. Well, it would be a higher high. How do I put this? Yeah. There's them. Well, you gotta look back at this thing, right? Okay. This thing up here is pretty gonna be a little difficult to get through, right? But here low, high, higher low, higher high, down. But it's only a higher high by a tick. And if it's only by a tick, that can often be a failure. So they have to come back and get away half. I just think this right here, that looks to me like, you know, the impulsive range extension end kind of thing. And so I think that this could potentially be a come back up here, have a stop run of sorts through like 09, 09 half 10, you know? And then maybe we can fade it, but it's gonna have to go and then back, and I don't want to see any absorption on these. And I thought the resolution of 055 was a confirmation of uptrend. They brought 06 half 7. Seemed like someone was pushing for lower. I put it like you get here, you're possibly in an uptrend, and then yeah, when you get a higher high, then I say that it's definitely confirmed. That's like one confirmation, two confirmations. I don't know if it matters. Like just think about 055. Well, I mean, look at it on Tucker's chart there. Like they came in. You can see where they kind of stepped in. Where well, I mean, you see it on my Vista. I think I need to tune this a little bit, because some of these thousands just seem like I don't quite know how to do it. I mean, there's where you can really see it, right? When we came into that spot right there, okay? Here, when we came into this, there was an iceberg, and this kind of caught us, okay? But now here at 08 and 08 half, we're getting the liquidity again. And then we got all this stuff up here above the highs. What point does the depth scope like stop being useful? I don't like it like that. I think that gray should be darker. I should go in and just I think that these settings are okay. This gray should be darker and this white should be whiter. I shouldn't have to go into it to be like all super high contrast in order to see things, you know? And not that it matters. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think the cumulative delta is really the one that I'm more interested in. I can see these on the DOM. They matter to me way more clearly than on the Vista chart. Okay, so there is 08 half, isn't it? Okay. I mean, the other thing, so this is kind of where I'm not experienced enough in doing it this way and saying, okay, don't want to trade all this. So now do I want to say, oh, okay, we might get a move up. Maybe I should get long just in case it really does go up and bust a new high. And take it off there and then reverse. Hmm. Well, there's a 4 there at the 08. I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. One guy is gonna go long, and one guy's gonna go short. I'm still just not quite sure enough. I don't know. I would just rather wait for this setup that I saw the other day, right? Like see it coming up for that high really impulsively and then not quite make it. There we go. Hmm. Yeah, this feels wrong. I, I mean, to me, it doesn't feel wrong. It just feels slow. You know what I mean? Like, this to me feels if I was taking like the VWAP trade, okay, and I was swinging it, and I happened to be long. I didn't think that it was long necessarily at the time, but it went long. And it comes up here to 08 half. Um, I would be keeping it. I would be keeping it on the hope that it pushes through 09 half there and um just roll through there. And then if I see a stop run, I get out. If I see really big absorption up at the top, I get out. And if I see people continuing to absorb on the bid, then and winning and it ticking up, of course. That's an important thing. Is you want to see people trying to sell it and fail. I've never heard of the term flood meter either. It's just showing you the level 2 essentially. It's pretty much the exact same thing that I've got here in Jigsaw. In my Vista chart, it colors it differently. So it's a little more clear. He has his basically set up to be like if it's roughly equal, this gray is actually black, and then yeah, he has these grays actually black, and then these slightly lighter grays are the ones that you're seeing as kind of bluish, light blue, and then these ones are like the yellows, greens. And then his actually shows a bubble for literally every trade. And he's like zoomed in on it really, really close. It was definitely a confirmation of the uptrend. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't read that one. like 15 minutes ago. Yeah. Oh no, wait, that was when we were saying before. When it touched 08 half, that was a confirmation of the uptrend for sure. And you can see that it was good for at least one tick since then. So I'm hoping that if Tucker's still in this, that he had bought 8, right? Let's just reset this. The 30-year made a new high. 5-year hasn't, but it's awfully close. Did not expect that downtick. Oh, Uzi uses this and he says that he puts his depth scope to 4. So he puts it to that. Well, I didn't expect that downtick either. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. I wonder, like here on ZB, if we do the same thing. Yeah. Man, 4 really does limit it. Well, let's try it. I mean, it does. I don't like the way that it looks with it being all black, but it is kind of window as narrow as possible. Yeah. I mostly want to see if these are really big, like 1,000 orders, like how long they've been around for. That's the main thing that I usually care about. So, okay, so that came back awfully fast. I'm actually thinking about possibly buying it here. Oop, and he ticked it down. Well, when this happened, I really wanted to go boom and then come down, and because it just kind of like slowed to a crawl and come back, I wasn't interested in it and decided to mess with my charts instead. And now it's come back a good 4 ticks. And on one hand, I'm like, well, that's okay. I probably still don't actually want this. But then another part of me is like, yes, but I just want to do something because this is so boring. There's also a lot of orders there at 145 in the ZB. So was that the smackdown in ZB? You know, another thing. Shouldn't be taking a trade here. Because, you got the E-mini opening in 7 minutes. So I'm glad I didn't take a trade anywhere in there. Yeah, I'm just saying they traded down here, and when it traded down, they put, you know, the pretty big order on top of it. And that's what I think he calls the smackdown, but the context of it is not the most reliable. Like you would want it to be more volatile when that happens, yeah? I'd be interested to see if we trade back up to 31, what they're going to do with it. Okay. I'm sure I've seen a NinjaTrader indicator that works as Bookmap. I'm trying to find it. Well, NinjaTrader built in a couple of things that are similar to Bookmap, but it's not even close to as good. If you really want something that visually shows you everything, there's not a better tool than Bookmap for it. I still say though, for treasuries, you're better off with Jigsaw because the Jigsaw DOM is better. And the Vista chart, I mean, it's nice to be able to look back at what happened, and it's nice to be able to post screenshots in Discord, but it's really the DOM you should be watching. Oh, did they trade up through the big order in ZB while I was not paying attention? They did. Ah, look, there's a pull there. It's maybe a little bit too late to take a trade, but they could maybe buy 9 there now. Probably if you wanted to take a trade when it came back to 8, you could have taken it again. Yeah, the heat map is just a dumping it on chart. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I think the thing that makes the heat map useful is it's historical. So now you can actually see, oh, okay, that particular order showed up here, it disappeared here, etc., etc. And you could start to see certain patterns that you might not see otherwise. But you don't want to trade off of it. Okay, so I'm seeing in ZB them hitting into that 145. There's your spot. Well, 917 traded 145 even. Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I think that the DOM does a much better job at, is that you can really see them eating through the orders on here. Oh, I'm sorry, Swag. I should give you regular permission so you can post pictures too. There you go. Okay. Okay. Well, I expected there to be some absorption here at 085 if I got filled. That's why I was willing to take it, but I did not expect to see what just happened there. Because that was a 5K iceberg, and they tried to trade through the iceberg, and they still bought 2,000 after that. And now they've hit it again, and they're still holding it. And they're doing it. They're doing it in the 5-year too. Okay, well, sellers finally were able to get through that. Curious. Well, a lot's going to depend on this next ticker too. E-mini's going in is creating all sorts of bubbles now all of a sudden. Okay. I mean, that looks like a short to me in the E-mini. Let's pull this out of the way here. Normally that would be a short in the E-mini. With that much drama. I don't know. Well, that was definitely drama that we had there, but it was not quite what I expected when I thought there was going to be drama, right? I thought there was going to be like stop runs up in treasuries, and instead we've got this massive battle at 0.5. ZB is still above that 145 even. Okay. That's it for me. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is there a signal that you can see on the book map that you can't see on the DOM? I really don't think that there is. It's telling you almost exactly the same information. It's just presenting it to you in a different way. Suppose maybe some people would prefer the book map, but I doubt that there's really a whole lot of treasury scalpers at least out there that would rather do that. Now in the E-mini, it's a little different. Yeah. He's asking, do you remember how many orders were sitting back in the open? Because I don't. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is memorization. Or you mark it on your DOM if it was really important. But I wanted to cancel that and I wasn't fast enough. It's okay. I don't like the way that way it looks. Too much has gone through here, and I don't want to be involved in this spot. It's okay. Anyways, I was gonna say on the E-mini, I think that it makes a big difference. And the place where I see that it makes a big difference on the E-mini is this. You can't see it. This thing right here. I always miss them when I'm watching the Dom and the E-mini, but man, those can be so significant. Those kinds of absorption can make the E-mini just turn on a dime. You can definitely see how Peter made the tool for him to trade the E-mini, not treasuries. I think if he was doing it for trading treasuries, the thing would probably look a little different. I would rather have it be historical, but actually give me numbers, you know? Hmm. They have 4K show up on a tick up, and then they are able to tick up, but it just doesn't hold and go. That seems suspicious to me. Even though I like it long and I wish that I had not canceled my order at 08. See, the E-mini really is falling down. I feel like this is one of those situations that we're looking at yesterday where like remember when it was getting really thick and I thought I saw a spike in treasuries and I bought it on that. Now this isn't the same thing, but like the thickness and the size of the orders that are trading around here and everything like that reminds me a lot of yesterday. And I remember telling myself many times, well, I saw big icebergs both ways and really unclear momentum, and that was really a bigger indicator that I should have been not messing around there in that area with the E-mini, or sorry, with treasuries, because it was the E-mini was going to be the decider. Yeah, I misread that in the E-mini. Like I thought it was just going to go down, and so I thought that the price didn't matter. Here it comes. It's going to give us a fake out, I think. Actually, no, it could run up. It's just that bubble there. They need to get above that bubble. Okay, well they may do it. Now you would think that if the E-mini is going to do it, that treasuries would go down, but that certainly wasn't what the last tick or two looked like, was it? I guess it was even before that. Like I'm just looking at like 4 minutes ago when Tucker said I like it long again. Now I think I said at the same time, maybe I would like it long, but now I'm not so sure. Would you look at that? They were not able to get through the 09, but then they were able to get through the 08 half. And the E-mini's going. It's really going, and look at all of these big prints in the 30-year. Holy crap. Does that make this a short? I think this makes this a short. Ooh, look at that. So that looks like continuation to me in the E-mini. Am I reading that right? Well, it was a continuation for a tick. There you go. There you go. Okay, what just happened there? Is that ZF ticking down that caused all that flutter? I don't actually see any orders hitting here. Thinking I could go for another one. Well, they haven't quite reached. It's 27.39. And then I guess 27.40, and then after that, 27.47. Yes, are levels I'm seeing. And then they're in like recovery, giddy up kind of mode. Good downtick. Well, I think now, if they're able to get through 07, of course, you've got a lot of people long up there at the top in ZB. What? Okay. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. Wow. Oh, if that '06 half would pull, I would be so happy. I don't think it's going to. E-mini's still going up. I'd say it's pretty likely. That was just like way too much volume that went through all there. Yeah, I don't know. I just normally I would see 10 and I would be like, nope. But like one, ES isn't done yet. So they just got the 40. So they've recovered from, you know what, Monday? They've recovered from this. Well, not completely recovered. They've retraced the majority of the really impulsive move on Monday. Okay. Now there's the top of this thing. So like 2747 I think is a level that they're gonna try and push through. And but the bigger thing is that this 6K at '06 half, that I don't know. I could be wrong. I just want to see another shot of it. I'm just not quite ready to give up the opportunity. I just feel like that what's going on down there is like way too crazy for that location, and they could try to bust through it, and it could be really good. So maybe it's worth it to keep it. Well, that one right there at 07.5 was it's good to see that there are still sellers that believe at 07.5. 5-year tick down. Hmm. A little bit better of a down tick there in the 5-year. The 30-year is not even ready to, yeah. Oh, well, they absorbed a little bit there. There you go. Okay, let's see some pulling. Let's see some pulling, guys. It's not pulling. And they hit 1,000 on it and they didn't pull it. I think you were likely to get a collision here, though. I think that they might sell through all 4,000 of it, and then we'll see what they do, if it holds or not. Okay, so the bid did not put a lot on there. Look, the seller is really insistent. Yeah, I don't necessarily see one, Tucker. I just see the setup. I'm holding this for like before she goes. Well, now I'm seeing it as. Oh, U.S. Supreme Court rules against unions on mandatory fees. Ho snap. That's really big political news. And frankly, it's good for stock markets. Well, that bid's a lot weaker than it was last time that they held it. Okay, that's just weird that it can be that low for that long. Okay. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna win this either. But this is where I'm like, I feel like it's worth risking the 2 ticks that I've already made. Like, the thing that's going through my head right now, though, is like, I'd hold that short. Yeah, this. I mean, who the hell is buying this? Like, that's like, it. I mean, I haven't been keeping track, but it's been like 30,000 contracts now, right? And it's not going up. If that offer can get over too. Ah, there you go. Sell that, ZF. Thank you. Hey, look, it's oh 06 half pulled. Oh 06 half pulled. I'm surprised that the 10-year isn't just selling it right there. Just based off of the fact that oh 06 half pulled. Have we run out of sellers? Yeah, that's really weird. Not just this, but these ticked down. In fact, ZF is kind of acting like it wants to tick down again. Okay, it's not holding it. They're absorbing it at 23 quarters too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, really, at this point, when you think about it, I'm risking 0 to possibly make 10 ticks. Okay, well, they did 14 hit those 6 half. Ten zero is a pretty good ratio for risk reward, yeah. Okay. got for targets 5? Oh yeah, there was the 5.5 is going to be critical, right? Because there was a interest. There's an I there. Okay. Okay, so that one right there was maybe that was definitely a stopping point. It kind of feels to me like they could keep going, doesn't it? Because there really wasn't enough pain in that. But I see the spot to take it off. I want to take it off there. It was 9, right? No, it was 8. It was 8. Should have done it at 9. It was at 8. I don't know. Like, you look at this. Ignore that E-mini trade and count those. Because that is still not even close to ready. Like, when you look at this, okay, 9, 8.5, 9 would have made sense. But why here at 8? That didn't make sense. And it's not in the optimal spot, and it's not. The only thing that I think made sense about that was that at the time that was like the edge of the profile. Maybe we could go down from there. Other than that, I'm not even sure. Well, I have to go back and watch it again because I'm not even sure if that was really like a really well placed trade or not. But in terms of management, I think, yeah, it was good because the thing was, I felt like we had a good chance of pushing back through that profile, and they kept hitting it. And I saw the setup, more importantly. That was the thing, was that I saw the big, I saw here in the map, the at 07 it was. 07, 06 half, there was some big orders and that they could plow through those, and that we could maybe get some movement after that if they decided to sell through it, and or maybe even a pull. And we did. So it was good. Now, to Tucker's point earlier, when we saw those icebergs, we really could have taken just +2 there. It was just, it was so outside of the norm, the amount of size that was trading there, that made me keep it. It made me say, well, if this really does go through, it could be a really good trade, so I think I should keep it. And that just highlights how important it is to try and get before she goes. I suppose it depends on your conviction on the trade and what you think the potential is. Well, sure. I mean, you have a good point there, but I guess maybe what I was trying to say, let me rephrase it. Um, I think that holding it matched me. You know what I mean? I like to hold it and keep it and go, and it doesn't bother me to hold it. Whereas when you look at Tucker, he doesn't like to hold those for long like that. That's just not his. That's just not his psychological profile. So maybe in that situation, for some of you guys that are a little bit more risk adverse, it was a good idea to take two there. And for me, because I'm stupid and reckless, it was okay to keep. Yep. You can't go running after big orders hitting the market moving him. Well, you can't chase them. It's like, because the problem that I've gotten so many times, yeah, both approaches are legitimate. The problem that I've gotten so many times is that I see something going on there, and I'm like, well, I want to take a trade, but I'm just don't feel convicted enough about it yet. And then it ticks up. And then I'm like, oh, well, this definitely is going to happen now. I don't want to miss this. And so I trade into it. Sometimes that leads to the chase trade. But many other times what it has led to is I'm in literally right on the edge. And there is an opportunity for me to get out and play it as a risk-free trade, but you would have to trade it like super, super well, and so you end up taking -1. Or if I'm being really dumb and stubborn, it can go all the way to 4 on those. But you can see on that one, if I already have 2 ticks of profit booked into it, and then I get to the spot where I think that maybe that thing is going to happen, it's just easier to manage at that point. Because you're in a different mental state, simply by virtue of the place that you got in at. Well, that was interesting. That was a really interesting trade. I'm not going to say that I was like brilliant to take it though. I'm still kind of wondering here if that was like the right location to take a short. Yeah. That was weird. I think some of those orders that we saw coming down into the move to 06 might have been stops, so I do think the 06 exit was really, really good. So we'll give ourselves points for that one too. Oh, you know what? There's one other thing that I have to say about this today. That's probably more important than any of those other things that I just said. Well, not more important, like in terms of analyzing the trade, but like important that I say, is that today I really tried to avoid places that I thought were bumps in the profile, and I know Tucker has been telling me to do that for a long time. And part of it was that I just had so many trades that were good in that spot, and part of it was I just didn't completely believe him. And part of it was that I don't think I completely understood what he was saying either at the time. But that worked really, really well when I did what he's been saying to do there, didn't it? So I'll definitely have to thank him for that. Need to check when I review it where it was in the profile, but I think at the time we were still kind of, it felt like we were on the edge of it, and so I guess it was at the VWAP there. Yeah, I don't exactly agree with the spot, but that's important that you're improving. Wasn't the short at 08? Yes, yes, it was at 08. And if we come in here and just have to look back at it, oh, I hate how it does that like that. Here it was right here. No, here it was right here. So I got filled on limit. I get filled on limit. I moved my stop. There was a point at which I thought about taking the 07, but I canceled it. And then I got out at 06. I should just here with this there. I like that a little better. And this one, I don't need this one either. Oops, that is not what I wanted. Can I undo that? No, I'm just gonna close it. Hide this column and hide this column. And save. Okay. Oh, KK got 6 ticks profits, huh? Was KK took a short up at 09, right? Yeah, I really like that. He was the one that really picked the right spot, didn't he? Don't fall asleep. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was. So are you still there, Uzi? I did change my Vista chart settings based on what you said, just to kind of look at it. You know, the thing with the Vista chart that I always said was that like you see how you kind of just got stuff around the outside. Generally speaking, you always have orders on both sides, especially in ZB. But now I'm just kind of like, hey, you know what? Actually, having that stuff around there, it's not so bad. Not so bad. I think I might keep it like that. Because really, all this other stuff that we were seeing, I mean, I liked the way that it looked like here in the evening. I mean, I like the way that that looks, but I think that is actually more helpful. So I think I might keep it that way. So thanks. Yeah, that was a good trade, KK. Let's see that again. Well, it's almost 8:30, so let's post our Bitcoin charts and check up on that. This action in Bitcoin, in my opinion, does not look healthy, does it? So think about this. Here you got. Can I go back further? Well, okay. So here's where there was a buy. They didn't do anything with it, and then sellers just really pushed it. Okay. And then this right here. Let me really zoom in. I haven't been talking crypto as much, even though there's like really crazy stuff. So here was like a double bottom of sorts. So I remember at the time a lot of people thinking that that was it. And then okay, here was the real push down. And is just like you get that as in cryptocurrencies. Oh, I wish I could go back. Wish we could see it, but like think about the first time that we touched 6,000. They had like it would come down and there would be like huge buys, and then that one would get faded and it would go down lower. Like think about that, right? And what are we getting with our biases? Just kind of like lackadaisical, like there's this one and they've all slowly just given it up. So what has happened is here's how I think about this. Or let me back up. I was watching some more John Grady stuff, or no, I was reading his book again. And one of the things that he said was like, okay, if I take a trade and I get the move that I want, yes, you can hold it there, but in order for me to hold it for a continuation, I need to see new players coming into the market to keep the trade going. So when I look here in cryptocurrencies, what do I see? I see that the cryptocurrency market is composed of a certain number of people. And this certain number of people are all looking to buy Bitcoin at the lows. And so they see what they think is a low and they all buy it. And then everybody that's really in the market that's looking to buy has bought it. And then it doesn't go anywhere and they slowly all take it off. And then the sellers come in and hit it again. That's what I'm seeing in Bitcoin. And so I think that you're going to have to keep going lower and lower until you get to a point where it's so low that the sellers can't sell through that anymore. Then maybe you could get an uptrend, and it'll be so much cheaper at that point. You'll be able to maybe convince some more people to play, and so on and so forth. And then maybe you can get a bull trend and we could bring new players into the market. But at the moment, Bitcoin just looks so negative to me. So there's my spill on that. All right, let's post this. Oh, I hope that I hope that blockchain.info is fixed today. It better be. I'm gonna be mad. Here goes. Oh my gosh, what's going on? I don't know what the deal is. See, if you go to blockchain.info and you look at their chart, the last time they updated was the 19th. So it's been almost a week. And this isn't showing us anything. Now, I doubt that it's changed. Maybe, if anything, it's gone up, but it doesn't really change our indicators, so I don't know what the deal is, but... No, so let's see. On that idea, this morning's high in Z, and there was very little interest in pushing higher. No new money entering, and then everybody who is already long either at or near their high will sell and cause a domino effect, which is what we saw. Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing that I still don't get. Why would you buy at '07? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make... I don't... Why wouldn't you wait to get '05 half again or something and try and buy it there? There's just somebody out there that's just really risk averse or something. I don't know. It just seems... It was a weird spot to see that much volume, wasn't it? Was oil doing something crazy? Uh-oh, OST asked the question, what's so great about bonds? I don't know, are you listening to the stream? Maybe I don't even need to talk, because I feel like I'm going to get into this, and because I like to talk about that, and I would rather just go and get into work early, and I'm sure that Tucker will probably set him straight. Man, if I'm just really quick though, I'll tell you. Where are ya? Where did I put it? Oh, I think I put it on this drive. Yes. Yeah, I guess I probably shouldn't just show that on the screen, huh? Copyrighted content. Using the right product. Okay, so here's what John Grady says about it. This says, why the tenure? The first thing he says is that's the market that he learned. Okay. Number 2, Treasuries are the cheapest to trade. When you factor in the commissions that you pay on Treasuries, it is the cheapest. Anything else, more commissions, and that's probably the biggest one. Okay. 2, there are several contracts, so you can watch them all and you get a more reliable trade off of it. Liquidity, so your reads based off of the order flow are more reliable because there's so much liquidity to read. The time of day is right because I can trade a bunch before I go into work. And then for the 10 years specifically, you're just less likely to have adverse ticks against you if you're in a good trade. Less likely for a good trade to go bad on you. So that's why I would say. Anyways, I'm gonna head out, so I will talk